Hey, beautiful people. Before I bring in our guests, got some good news out of Muskegon. This just happened probably about an hour, less than an hour ago. Um, the Community Foundation of Muskegon County presented Dr. Dale Nesbury with the Impact Award for his contributions to Muskegon County. And so was a beautiful scene. He didn't know. He was shocked. It was a wonderful impact speech given by Attorney Breonna Scott, who talked about the power of one. And following that message, uh, they made the announcement about the first recipient of the first ever Impact Award. They just created this award, and it was so fitting that Dr. Dale Nesbury will be a recipient, is the recipient of this Impact Award. Been back home, been back in Muskegon 13 years and has transformed, his work has transformed Muskegon, downtown Muskegon, specifically, and so fitting. So congratulations going out to Dr. Dale Nesbury. So many different stuff he done. Y'all know the works. Y'all know the works. We'll get him on StreamYard real soon to talk about his work. But a very humble guy. So we're happy that he was able to get this award. So fitting, and we're glad he came back to Muskegon and helped transform Muskegon College, which is the number one community college, voted the number one community college for a couple of years in the state of Michigan, and top 30 out of over 1,200 community colleges in the country, in the top 30, and that's because of Dr. Dale Nesbury. All right, family. Our guest today is a graduate of Muskegon Heights, probably about a decade, add on a couple years, and he's a lawyer by trade, the one and only basketball star. People love him. Attorney T. Smith. How you doing today, sir?
I'm well. Thank you so much for having me, PA.
Man, it's an honor to get you on here on a Thursday night, man, because I know you got a lot of stuff on the floor, brother.
Yeah, it's quite a heavy caseload going on right now.
Yeah, I know. You're getting it. You're getting it, though. You're doing it, man. SAGlaw, man. Tell us about SAGlaw. Who is SAGlaw?
Sure. So Smith Attorneys Group at Law PC is a multidisciplinary law firm now located in about 7 different states. We're a multi-purpose civil firm but we also focus on some of white-collar criminal matters. Primarily, we focus in business, complex litigation, estate planning, entertainment, and nonprofits.
Okay. Oh wow. So how long have you been practicing law now? Because you not too long ago you graduated.
Yeah. So it's been, I think I'm in my 5th year now.
Oh, 5 years that quick?
Yeah.
5?
Yeah. It's been 5 years of practice. But but as you mentioned, I did start my career with the firm out in New York and New Jersey. And then moved back to the Midwest in 19, right before the pandemic, and started SAGlaw. So that might seem a little new.
Yeah, time is moving, man. I remember you leaving church to go off to college, man.
Yep,
it don't seem like that was too long ago.
Yeah. Time is flies. It waits for no man, as they say.
So you are now you can practice law here in Michigan. What kind of cases that you like to see? What are some of the cases that you want to see come through?
Yeah, so primarily for myself, my focus is civil litigation and business formation matters and business operations. So with that, I would love to see more entrepreneurs, or individuals that want to pursue entrepreneurship, take that leap of faith and start their businesses. And I want to see those businesses mature into full-fledged enterprises or corporations. And that's something that I specifically address in my practice, is assisting those entrepreneurs as they transition into actually owning a business, forming the business, operations of the business, the legalities that come with that. That's what I would love to see. But for the firm itself, like I mentioned, the firm is a multidisciplinary firm. So we can carry cases on the civil side, and we have a criminal defense team as well that we've put in place here specifically for Michigan. that's really been changing lives for some of our clients that were facing some pretty serious matters.
What are you doing different?
Say again?
What are you doing different? What is your firm doing different to create your own wave here?
Sure. So I think one of the greatest differences in our firm versus traditional law firms are, one, we're a completely remote firm. We're also completely paperless. So we take the environment into consideration as we deal with our dealings, but also we're able to offer services to our clients at a non-traditional legal rate because we don't have the same overhead as traditional law firms. So they have to pay for rent, they have to pay utilities and things like that. Because my team of attorneys, which is about 25 of us across the country, we're all remote. So that allows us to give our clients more of a tailored experience to their matters, but also at an affordable price.
Well, here's a big question right here. Any pro bono work?
So I see that came from one of the other great Smiths, my uncle. Most people know him as Keeb, but Uncle Mike, for you, pro bono is always an option.
He's gonna throw that at his nephew. You know, I'm sure his nephew got student loans out here.
I definitely have some student loans. But to address
down in Texas, right? Uncle is down in Texas, right?
Yeah, he's in Houston. Yeah. But yeah, to address that question about pro bono, we actually do have a pro bono program where we've represented individuals in the Chicago area that were doing the Black Lives Matter protests. Some of those individuals were wrongfully convicted or wrongfully charged of disturbing the peace and other actions. So our firm took an affirmative step to represent those individuals, and we were quite successful. As a matter of fact, we had a 100% batting rate. Every client that we had, we got off.
Man, really, that's dope, man. Really. Good. And how do they connect with you guys? You guys just did the research or what?
So there's a minority bar association. There's several in the Chicago area. We partnered with one that was one of the Pacific Islander minority bar associations. One of my colleagues that I worked with, she's a member of it. She reached out to me. We thought it was a great idea, a great opportunity for our firm to partner with them. They ended up partnering with a more national group, and that's how we were able to help those individuals.
When it comes down to people getting wrongfully charged, does the problem start with the police department or do it starts with the prosecutor's office?
You know, that's a tough question, PA. You know, I think we can even dive deeper than that. Is this something that has to deal with, social economics or those various disadvantages too? But when it comes to specifically charging, your initial charge comes from whatever that arresting officer has observed to be the crime, is then transferred over to the prosecutor's office where they do an evaluation to see if the legalities of that allegations will stand mustered if you have to bring it before a judge. So where's the issue? I can't 100% say, but I think that the process currently in place is it could always be better.
Where can we be better on both, or no? Which one?
Well, I think it really depends on the particular matter at hand. For example, we're talking minor offenses. I think certain minor offenses, especially what's popular now, is now that marijuana has been legalized, they're trying to either retroactively change convictions or they're trying to put into places certain protections to not even pursue charges against a certain amount. I think in those types of situations, it starts with the actual reform of the law, which we're on a good path for.
What about the federal laws in regards to marijuana and marijuana convictions?
Well, the best that I can speak to that is that becomes from a legal perspective, what we call a non-justiciable political question. And what that essentially means is the feds have their position and they're going to stick to that position because that's what's current law. Until us as citizens put individuals in those political seats to make laws or to change those laws, then we're going to deal with what we currently have.
So Congress need to change the law.
Congress has to, or you don't even have to go as far as Congress. Some of your local politicians can make amendments or recommendations to the state, and then the state will then push it up to the feds.
Yeah, because I'm hearing that these federal convictions are hurting people who have been convicted for marijuana.
Yeah, that's something I've heard as well. Hopefully as time starts to turn and as we're moving in that direction, where it looks like we will have, at least from a state level perspective, 50 of the states will go ahead and legalize it from a recreational perspective. I think that will inherently change the outcome as well.
All right. Now, you say you do corporate law too. I mean, help companies establish legal businesses and all that. How easy is that for them, to get in contact with you, to get this process going? How long did that process take?
Yeah, so the length of the process is comparative or relevant to the particular situation that the business owner or the potential owner is looking at. To get in contact with is very simple. Our website, SAGlawPC.com. You can set up. You can go on our website and you can set up a free consultation with myself or with another one of our corporate attorneys, and we can walk you through the process of what it would look like to even get a business started. Now, the turnaround really depends. I give my clients two options really when it comes to setting up businesses. You can have the Kia or you can have the Cadillac. And what I mean by that is, we have packages that are appropriate for everyone's budget. And essentially, you get what you pay for. If this is something where you need to put a business together because you have other businesses already running, but you need something together to house some type of deal, then you can go with the Kia package. If this is your first time at entrepreneurship and you want to get all of your governing documents in place, and then you may need some sales agreements or independent contractor agreements or employment contracts, then that's leaning more towards the Cadillac package. So we have a package for everyone's budget, and it really depends on the needs and circumstances for that particular client.
Just head over to SAGlawPC.com. So you don't even have to meet with your clients personally.
Meet, yes. We'll meet with them because we'll set up a free consultation to really discuss the ins and outs. But to really get the process started, it's as simple as going on our website. And that goes to the point that I mentioned earlier. We're a millennial firm. So because of that, we utilize social media, technology. You can pretty much set up your appointment and view your entire case file through your iPhone or through your mobile device or your laptop. So you don't have to do the traditional route of calling someone's secretary, trying to set up an appointment. That appointment is going to be 3-4 months out. You always have access to my staff and to our attorneys through our portal.
To those who don't know your experience, you worked in New York where you gained a lot of experience. Can you talk about some of the cases that you handled?
So I can reference some of the cases. I can't really talk about it.
Yeah. You don't have to, don't sure. Not the names, but the kind of cases that you handle and the amount of money that was connected.
Right, because that's always important. Everybody wants to know about the money, right?
Yeah.
So when I was in New York, I focused in complex and commercial litigation. And essentially what that means is people will hire our firm, business owners or consumers will hire our firm to sue big companies. And that was my specialty, was to sue major corporations to either win a judgment through going through the court process or to obtain a settlement, which in essence, you still get the money. So I will say one of the larger cases I dealt with was a New York federal case where we sued the number 1 and number 2 bank in the world or in the United States. And so if you do your research, you can find out who those two and what those two banks are. But that was a case that I had that went on for about 2.5 years. And it had a pretty satisfactory outcome for my client.
Yeah, especially if you won against the largest bank. That's good, man. Will Robertson said, I can attest to their availability. Only a call or text away, immediate response. And on that previous case, what was it like when the deal was over, either through settlement or court decision? What was that like, man, for you?
Yeah, so I remember the moment very vividly. We went to mediation and we were in Manhattan. Actually, we were in the Times Square area in New York. So we walked out. We had a fairly hefty six-figure settlement, close to seven-figure settlement. And at that moment, you think of the Alicia Keys song, Big Lights, the City, you're in New York, right? So that's what's playing in my mind. Right. And I'm literally walking down the street and I realized that, okay, all of the work that I put into going to school, going to college, going to law school, studying for the bar, not being successful on the bar the first time, it all paid off at that moment. You know, the price of glory is high is what my college band slogan is. And at that moment is when I really started to realize that.
Wow. And you had other cases too.
Yeah. I had a full case. I probably at that point at that firm had a caseload of anywhere from 75 to 150 cases.
Wow. Now, will you handle those type of cases in Michigan?
Absolutely. Yeah, we're actually dealing with some employment law matters out of the Detroit area against one of the casinos, which we're going to remain anonymous at this point. So yes, those types of complex civil litigation, that's still my bread and butter. On top of that is where the business formation operation comes in. And they go hand in hand, because when you spend a career like me of essentially suing business and dissecting businesses, you can pinpoint those areas of liability. So when I go and build businesses for individuals, I can close those loopholes to prevent an attorney like myself from coming in and exploiting it down the road.
Makes sense. So tell me this, man. Can people sue employees for making them have the vaccine?
So can employees sue employers? I'm assuming is the question.
Yeah. Can it? Yeah. Yes.
You know, the verdict is still out. We have some suggestions, or what we would say legal guidelines from certain regulatory agencies from the United States. But is the clear-cut question: can I sue my employer for making me take the vaccine, or for firing me, or creating some other type of penalty against me for not being vaccinated? The answer is we don't know yet. And we won't know until some of the cases that have been filed across the country are actually heard and are actually resolved. I think if enough of these cases pick up traction, it's a great chance that this may become a Supreme Court question. And in that case, if the Supreme Court picks it up, then we're going to have definitive and concrete law, as in yes or no. So at this point, we don't know, but maybe down the road we will.
Will your firm take class action suits, lawsuits?
Well, we don't do class action suits. We do individual actions, but we also primarily defend businesses. So for some of our business clients, you mentioned Will Robeson, his company, Shoreline Staffing, it's one of our clients, one of our corporate clients. If his business or another business was to face something like that, we would be in the best position to put forth a full-fledged defense.
Wow. What other kind of cases will you handle here in Michigan?
So I mentioned earlier that we brought on a criminal law division. And so that division is something that I'm really holding close, because I've seen some cases where individuals have had not the best representation, or they haven't been represented at all. And some individuals have been convicted of cases that I think should have went a different way. And so one way that I can change that specifically is to allow my attorneys to start to pursue those matters and take on cases like that. So that project is something I'm super excited about. I think we can change a lot of lives and help a lot of people that may not necessarily traditionally or historically have had access to competent representation.
Wow. Man, let's talk about personal level, man. The impact, the people who impacted your life. You come from a very good family, both sides. I know your father had a huge impact on your life. Talk about that.
Yeah, most people from Muskegon, they either call me Danny or they reference me as, "Oh, you're Danny Smith's son," and it's quite a compliment to me.
Yes.
Because the older I get, the more I see myself in him, or see him in myself, I should say. And my mannerisms are much like him as well. My sarcasm is like him as well. So, but he was a great impact on my life. Obviously, he was a great dad, a great husband, a great leader in the community. And I think along with him changing thousands of individuals' lives during his career as an educator, one of those lives was definitely mine and my sister's and my other sister, my older sister.
Your sister just stayed with you here in Muskegon. What did I know?
Yep, Tiffany.
Both of y'all are very educated, man. She's got a master's degree, I think, in finance or something like that, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's an accountant, a tax accountant.
Yes. Do y'all ever have these intellectual debates? I love to hear these debates between you and Tiffany.
So yes and no. So Tiffany is not very argumentative. I love to argue, which is why I'm in the perfect field, right? So at points, she'll raise her concern, and then I'll raise mine, and then I'll of course start to litigate and lawyer her. And at that point, she gets frustrated and shuts down.
Like, I don't care, I'm done.
Yeah, right. But I always hit her when she gets a point across that's better than mine, or she gets me. I said, but there's only one doctor in the family, and that's me, not you.
Oh. So. Wow. And she's your older sister, right?
Yeah, she's my older sister, also a Heights grad.
There you go. Anything else you want to share before we go?
Yeah, man. I want to thank you again for this opportunity to sit here and discuss something that I truly love, which is the law, and also my firm. Another thing that is that I 100% want to make sure that entrepreneurs or whoever needs our legal services know that if you need help, we're nothing more than a click away. By all means, please reach out to us. We're happy to assist you. The majority of our consultations are free. Some of them are not, but again, those costs are minimal. We're looking to make a difference here in the West Michigan specifically, that area. To the extent that we can help you, please reach out and we'll do our absolute best to get you the outcome that you desire.
People be sleeping on attorneys, man, as a career, man. It's an attorney out of Atlanta. Gary something, man. Gary. I just know dude got a private jet. Big one. Not no small one. And he's underneath the radar, killing them.
That's it. It's a great career. I love it. I wouldn't change it for the world. It took a lot of years to get here, but now that we are, I'm going to enjoy the fruits of the labor.
All right, family. Make sure you go to his website, SAGlawPC.com. You want to give out your telephone number?
Yeah. So my office number is 708-433-9138. That is a direct line to me. I want you to call me because I want you to have a personal relationship with your attorney. And if I need to pass you off to one of our associates, we can. Again, the website is SAGlawPC.com. And our general email is info@SAGlawPC.com.
One last comment from Will. If you're a startup, you need to definitely look T up to ensure you are set up properly.
Listen, experiences are a great teacher, and I think Will nailed it. If you are starting up, avoid the headache and avoid some pitfalls that other entrepreneurs have faced. And it's simple. You just need to get someone that understands that, who can walk you through it and make sure that you're making the right decision. And that someone is our firm.
What about copyrights and dealing with all? Do you do that too?
Oh, absolutely. PA, I think back in 2007, before I went to school, I told you I wanted to go into entertainment. Right. And I did participate in entertainment. And so that area was more of the copyrights and trademarks. But now that we've transitioned into a business firm, trademarks and copyrights are even more important, because brand protection is probably one of the most single-handed exploited things in the United States. People get their business ideas or their business brand stolen daily. And I think I read something that this is like a $3 trillion business. So you're putting money on the line by not having your brand protected through trademarks or certain copyrights.
So what protects someone for keeping an entity in another state for using their name, like their company name? Your company might be registered here in Michigan, but you got somebody in Illinois that likes that name. Say, I'm going to take that name. How can they protect themselves?
Yeah, that's a great question. And so how that protection goes, because again, you file a business with the individual state that it's located in. So you can't stop. So if there was a SAGlaw Michigan, which there is, but it's owned by me. If there was let's say a SAGlaw Indiana, they could have SAGlaw Indiana for the state, for that particular state. Now, if I go ahead and trademark the name federally, SAGlawPC.com or Smith Attorneys Group at Law PC from a federal perspective, and tag a logo to that or service mark, then that name is no longer available to be used anywhere. And if it is used, I can send what's called a cease and desist to that particular individual that's infringing on my right. And they would either shut the business down or face litigation.
Whatever, how much money you make, you have to check it in, check that all in.
Exactly.
All right. Thank you so much, man. We have to do this more often, especially when you come down to some of these legal questions that that you can answer to people. You know,
I would love to.
Yeah. Let's make that happen. Thank you so much. I'm glad to see you back at home for the 100-year anniversary, 100-year reunion from Muskegon Heights. You're one, I'm one, and I know quite a few people that's watching this video are also Tigers. Much love to you, brother.
Thank you, PA.
Take care. All right.
Take care.